in. There we go. All right. Here we are. I'm back on Facebook. Hopefully you can all hear me now. Yep, I just came back. So let me know if you can hear me now. All right. So I have been excited to talk about this. This is something that I have been working with my clients in my higher level program. I started talking about this last year. At the end of last year, really diving into what is that space in our business where when we combine these things, we can access what I call our cash flow sweet spot. Right. And so I don't know about you, but I love anything that will help me multiply my income and includes cash, sweet. I love it. So I'm going to share that with you this morning. I'm going to start with a quick story about how this cash flow sweet spot concept is years in the making. But let me tell you how it started. So several years ago, I was having a conversation with my coach. And at this point where we're having the conversation, we are now just friends, we're peers. I've done a lot of coaching with her. We've supported each other on our business journey, but we were having this particular conversation. And she said to me, Tasha, I could be dropped in the middle of the desert. P.S. There's something you need to know. At the point that we were having this conversation, she was actually telling me a story about, a time in her business where she lost all her clients. Something had happened and she lost all of her clients and she was back to square zero. And within 3 months, she was back up to multiple six figures. And I was really curious, like, how does one do that, right? Start over from scratch and get back to multiple six figures like that. And she said, Tasha, I could be dropped in the desert. Give me 3 months. I'm going to get back to multiple six figures. And I became curious about that. Like, wait a minute. What is it that you have? Like, what are you selling? What do you know? And I always say the question is not, what is it that I always say, we will hear stories like this and you will ask, well, what does she sell? What's the business that she's in? And I always say that's the wrong question. The more powerful question is, how do you think? And so I became curious. What is it that you have inside of you that makes you think with such confidence, no matter what, drop me in a desert, I will make six figures in 3 months? And she says, I know my superpower. And I was like, huh. She goes, yeah, that's how I think. I know my superpower. And she then went on to ask me, she said, Tasha, what do you want now in your business? Like right now, what do you want? And at the point of this conversation, I said, oh, that's easy, right? And all of you would say, oh, that's an easy question to answer. I want to multiply my income and I want more clients. I want to multiply my income and I want more clients. That's what I want. And she said, actually, Tasha, I know what you need. And I was like, huh, what do I need? She said, you need a high ticket offer. And so that conversation has never left me. The combination of her knowing her superpower, like being so confident about no matter what the conditions are, I am going to make six figures. Why do I know that? Because I know what my superpower is. And then she went on to ask me, Tasha, what do you want? What is it that you believe you want right now in your business? And then she told me what I needed. I signed up for her $100,000 program after that conversation. But I want to share this with you this morning. Hang on a second. Let me get to my screen sharing. I may be able to do it. I may not. Let's see. But, the thing that, my computer is not doing what I want it to do when I want it to do it. And that is just unfortunate. I'm gonna share it with you some other time. I'll show you the screen. Share the screen with you. But what is your cash flow sweet spot in your business? It's 3 things. Number 1, it's knowing what your superpower is. So if you're typing, can you all jump in the chat and just type so people can see the notes? Like, number 1, it's knowing what is my superpower. Number 2, it's knowing what your customers want. And then part 3 is you intuitively knowing what they need. When you combine those 3 things, there's this magical place. Like if you can imagine 3 circles, right? There's this magical place in the middle the combination of those 3 things And that place where they all combine, that is your cash flow sweet spot. You can take it to the bank. It's why my coach was able to say, I know my superpower. You told me what you want. I know what you need, right? I'm listening to what you're saying you want, but I know what you need. And the combination of that landed me signing up for her $100,000 program. So the question is, so let's, I see some of you type in. So remember, number one, knowing your superpower. Number two, knowing what your customers want. And number three, knowing what your customers need. If you can all just type that, so I know that you all got it. You're all taking really great notes. There we go. Thanks, Chella. That place where all of those three things combine is your money making spot in your business. That is your cash flow sweet spot. That is you becoming your own ATM as you are out there in the world. And it doesn't matter if you have a restaurant, it doesn't matter if you're a coach, it doesn't matter if you sell cell phones, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, it really doesn't, if you're an accountant, it doesn't matter what it is that you are doing in the world. However you serve people, however you solve people's problems through your gifts and talents or the product or programs that you're selling, when you are able to know what is the thing that you are incredible at, your superpower, what people want in that area, what you know they need, and you combine that, millions, right? Millions, easy money. That's the way I think about it. Easy money. And it took me a long time to figure out this combination and why it's so important. So this morning, obviously, this is not a masterclass. I'm not going to dive into all of those, but I do want to start with, do you know what your superpower is? Are you crystal clear on what your superpower is? And are you using it in your business? Do you know what your superpower is? And are you using it in your business? And then I'm going to say something really potent and powerful. And I want you to just close your eyes, because I don't even need you to hear this. I need you to feel it this morning. If your business is not built around your superpower, if your business is not built around your superpower, you will spend your time working harder than you need to and making less than you deserve. If your business is not built around your superpower, you will spend your time working harder than you need to and making less than you deserve. So when I realized that, because let's just break it down real quick, right? Like energetically, if you're not operating in your highest, best version of you, then you're working hard. Because you're working from your lowest energetic vibration. You're working from something that's not natural and easy for you, right? Logically, it makes sense. Like if I am having to be something that I'm not naturally, it's going to be hard for me to keep doing that, keep maintaining it, keep sustaining it. And if I'm not bringing the thing that's the best and easiest, like the highest version of me in my business, then I am literally operating at a fraction of my power, and therefore my effort has to make up for the rest of it so I can make money. Does that make sense to y'all? Like those of you that are watching, like give me a thumbs up. Right? Does that make sense to you? Like if you're not doing the thing that is your superpower, you're operating from a fraction of yourself, and it's just going to be harder. You're going to run out of energy at some point because you're operating from the weakest version of you, right? So then the question becomes, what is your superpower? How can I identify my superpower? Again, this is an entire month in my high level program. Those of you that are goddesses and wealth queens, this is what we're going to be working on in May. But I want the community at large to know, A, the type of work that we do in these higher level programs, and B, the things that you should start thinking about and answering some of these questions for yourself. Hopefully there will be a day where you come into these higher level programs and I can support you through this and get you crystal clear on it. But also, like, if nobody has, brought this to your attention, then you don't know what you don't know. And you're probably operating in your businesses in a way that is not going to be the most efficient or the highest income producing way for you to function in business, right? So what is your superpower? It is the thing that is easy and natural for you. It is the thing that other people come to you for. And for you, it's just like breathing. And for them, it's rocket science. They can't figure it out. It's like, wow, how do you know that? How do you think like that? How do you know how to put that together, right? This is your personal zone of excellence. It's where energy, the thing that's unique to you, your genius, the things that you know naturally, and your sole purpose, this is where they combine, and you are now in your superpower. It's where your energy, your genius, and your sole purpose combine. Think about that. If that is a part of your business, if that's what you lead within your business, you are literally waking up and just, it's like going for a walk in the park, right? You're not having to pretend to be somebody else. You're not having to try to figure out something outside of yourself. You are literally just being you. This is the way to get paid to be you. And so my coach, the story that I told you at the start, her superpower is selling. And it's not like, oh, let me take your money. I'm really great at like being a car salesman and let me take your money. What she's really great at in selling is identifying the thing that her customer, her clients, that they need in order to get to the results that they want. She just knows how to tell you what to do, right, in the area of sales so that you can get to the results that you want. She's a genius at it. Bring her any business, any problem, and she could just tell you, you should be selling this. That is her superpower, right? So most women in business will deny their superpower. They will downplay their superpower because we have been taught that a degree is more valuable. We have been taught that a course and a certification and a program and, having letters behind your name, and your logical mind is going to say, no, you have to do this in business in order to make money. Oh, you're a natural at this. It's easy for you to do this. You are great at solving problems, these types of problems. You're great at being creative in this way. Yeah, but you can't make money from that. Right? Or, oh, you know how to do it. Go get 1 million certifications, right? So as women, especially when we have deservingness stuff that we're working through, or some people would say worthiness stuff, the thing that we are so amazing at, we have a hard time believing that it has any value. And so we would rather take on something else that our logical mind says, is the way to make money, and struggle through doing that instead of doing the thing that is natural and easy for us. So I was having a conversation with someone on Friday, and we were talking about let's just say people in landscaping. And I live in Florida. There are tons of people who, have landscape businesses, and they'll come and they'll cut your grass and trim your hedges and plant things if you want. And, they make a modest living. Well, in that same industry, a few years ago, I was walking in a very affluent area and happened to walk by this woman's house. I loved her landscaping. I was goo goo gaga, and she was generous enough, like just saw me off the street, invited me in to come look at her yard and ultimately her house. And she lived on the intercoastal, and it was like a $6 million house. And I was like, what do you do? And she goes, oh, we own a landscaping business. Right? So her and her husband, or actually this was her husband's superpower, landscaping, got them to $6 million house, which you can just imagine the income they generate from their landscaping business. Somebody else could say, I love gardening, but you know what? I love plants. I can look at somebody's yard and I can totally redesign it in my mind, like just by walking by. But you know what? I can't make money from that. So let me go get a degree in computer engineering or God knows what, because my logical mind makes sense of that. My logical mind can see how that can make money. But for the rest of your life, you will be operating, doing something you don't love, doing something that's not natural, not easy. Are you good at it? Yeah, you could be good at it, but it's not your zone of excellence, right? So This superpower piece is something that we really want to understand. We want to get great at, and we want to give ourselves permission to bring it into how we make money. So I'm going to go on a rampage this morning, and I'm going to ask you all, blow me up in the chat, write it, type it, do whatever you need to do, because this is like a permission granting declaration moment right now, right? So here we go. Number one, it is okay. It is okay to be well paid for what's easy for me. Blow me up. It is okay. Let me see it in the chat. Everybody here, just type it so that your brain can say, yes, I agree. It is okay for me to be well paid for what is easy for me. A lot of women struggle with that. Like, I shouldn't be making this much money, right? Or I'm not going to give myself permission to make a lot of money with something that's easy. It's not right. I have to work hard. It is okay for me to be well paid for something that's easy for me. It is okay for me to be well paid for what I love to do. It is okay for me to be well paid for what I love to do. Everybody here, I just see a few of you, like, it's okay. If I love it, yeah, I should be well paid to do it. It is okay for me to be well paid for what I love to do. And then the last one is, my superpower is my happiest way to make a living. My superpower is my happiest way. You want to be happy doing the work that you're here to do. You want to be happy as you serve and, offer your gifts and talents in the world and be handsomely paid and make great money and love your life. You want to be happy in your life. Your superpower, my superpower is the happiest way for me to make a living. So now that we've got the superpower piece done, we're going to talk about the other two really quickly. Figuring out what they want. Remember, it's a combination of your superpower and then what they want. This is probably, the piece that a lot of people miss out on is your people have a problem or a pain that there's something that you do that will solve them. I see Suzanne here, who is an artist in Canada. And when I look at Suzanne's painting, she posted one in our group recently of like this beautiful woman, that was just exuding wealth. And just to look at it just brought me in the highest wealth vibration. And I just thought to myself, like, she is operating, in her superpower, the thing that's just natural to her. She's just painting to her, right? She's just painting. But to me, that elevated my wealth consciousness to look at her work. And so I want you to think about, people are needing something. They have a problem or a pain that they want to solve. And your superpower, your gift and talent is uniquely designed to solve it. So what we want to do is we want to spend more time letting our people tell us what they want. Don't try to figure this piece out. Seth Godin says, trust is something that you shouldn't play with. Don't try to guess. Let them tell you. Let them tell you what they want. 80%, hey Teresa, 80% of consumers will buy when they feel they're getting what they want. Think about increasing your conversion rate to 80% or more because people feel like you are giving them the thing that they want. Now, there's a next piece is, well, what do they need? Let's talk about what they need really quickly. The only way you are going to truly know what your people need is when you are operating and running your business from your superpower, which allows you to tap into the true intuition that you have, what is your unique coding that helps you understand, this is what my people need. This is where you get access to their soul need because you are in your highest frequency. You are operating in your superpower. You are tapping into your intuition, and then you have access not to their surface level need, but to that divine wisdom that says, this is what your people on a soul level, this is what they need, right? So when you get to this place where you find your cash flow sweet spot, you stop selling and you start serving destiny. Think about that. You stop selling. So many of us were like, we hate selling. You stop selling and you start serving destiny. And destiny is highly profitable. This is your ATM. Understanding this combination in your business, truly owning your superpower, knowing what it is and owning it, finding out what your customers want, knowing intuitively, because you're in your superpower, you're in your highest version of you, knowing intuitively what they need, and that place where all of those combine, that is where you serve your destiny and your customer's destiny, and it is highly profitable. All right. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that for this morning. I know I've given you a lot to think about, but I just want you, sometimes I feel like I'm doing like a 20-minute masterclass. I just want to give you something to think about for the rest of this week, right? I want you to think about, do I really know what my superpower is? And am I using it in my business? And then I want to remind you that this Thursday and Friday, we have our 3 spiritual laws masterclass. We have hundreds of women that are registered, and I'm really excited about that. But I also realize that you may not understand what I'm doing on Friday. So Thursday is the free masterclass. It's Thursday at 12. Type the word code, get yourself registered. Type the word code and check your DM, whether you're watching Instagram or Facebook, check your DM, you'll be able to register. But if you did not register for VIP, which will be on Friday, I don't think you understand what I'm going to be doing during the VIP session on Friday. First of all, it's a feminine VIP lounge. And I call it that because I want to really use that session. It's going to be dynamic. I'm not really planning too much for it. Like talking about superpower here today, I may touch on that on Friday. But what I have in mind so far is really a wealth recalibration. My intuition, me operating in my superpower, is telling me that right now, collectively, we need like we need a tuning up with our wealth frequency, right? We need to tune in, recalibrate, get back to the spiritual basics. I've been listening to a lot of a lot of things about technology and AI, and just watching all the things that's energetically happening in the world. And as the thing that is interesting about it all is that technology is outpacing spirituality. Technology is outpacing spirituality. And so right now, we have to tune up our spirituality, or we may have ourselves be left behind, because not only is technology outpacing spirituality, consciousness is rising. I don't want to get too much into it, but I'm just going to tell you, you owe it to yourself to be in this VIP session. It's going to be a feminine wealth activation. I'm going to do some laser Q&A coaching to help with the wealth recalibration. I'm always going to do an activation. I'm going to give you a 30-day Wealth Queen journal with prompts. So no thinking about what to journal for the next 30 days to get back into your spiritual practices. I've got it all for you. I'm going to give you a meditation, like all of this. But why do you want to be at the session on Friday? The highest value thing, not only will it be dynamic and I'll be supporting the energy of who's present and the recalibration that you need. This is really a hands-on, Tasha, give me the latest, greatest. What are you doing in your spiritual work? And let's do it while we're on the call. All right. So if you're not registered for VIP, go ahead, type the word code. If you know you're already registered, type the word code anyway and go back to the page. And you're going to see a little red checkbox that says register for VIP. Make sure you check that. Pay the fee. It's $44 for the session. I'm telling you, this is a coaching program in and of itself, what we're going to do on Friday. So you want to gift this to yourself to make sure that you are attuned at the highest level going into the rest of this year. All right. So type the word code. All of you that are here, type the word code, go back to the page and make sure you check the box and you're registered for VIP. Now, here's the other thing. The free masterclass is live only. There is no replay. Those of you that sign up for VIP, you will get the replay for the masterclass and for VIP. So you want to make sure, like, if you're like, I'm not sure if I can make any of the times or one of the times or the other, make sure you type code, and that will allow you to get registered. All right. CODE Karen, you type COFR. So CODE, just retype again. All right, ladies, that's what I have for you this morning. I cannot wait for Thursday. I was just looking through my journal this morning and I saw where I was writing out my evidence. And one of my clients used one of these simple spiritual practices. And she thought she asked for $50,000 last month, but she actually asked for $60,000. She used this spiritual practice and ended up with $70,000 in her business. I don't know about you, but if there is a spiritual practice that can get me those types of results, I want in, right? So I will see you all on Thursday and Friday. Make sure you're registered for VIP. All right, everyone. Big love. Have a great week. Bye.